from Morsenal Studio B in Chandler, Arizona, this is MayaCast. Welcome to another edition of MayaCast. I'm your host, Tom Shadle.
I'm your host, Skip Parcell.
And this is episode 191 for Friday, July 27th, 2018. Ross and Raicho. Coming up on today's show, we are going to talk about the July releases, including the new Raicho sculpt and its new profile. And we are going to ask you for some ideas for a show we have coming up in a couple of weeks as well. Before we get into that, I do want to remind everybody that it's MayaCast MasterGlass Q3 time. Heroes and villains. We want to see all your characters. Named characters, RPG characters, Aristea characters, characters of your own design, whatever it may be. Heroes and villains is the theme. It's a single miniature. You get up to 4 completed photos to show off your work that we would like renamed with your name and a number. Kalani Parcell 1, Kalani Parcell 2, Kalani Parcell 3, Kalani Parcell 4, who may make a guest appearance later.
I know, right?
And so might Balian and Khaleesi.
Right. That's going to be my favorite thing, by the way.
Kalani and Khaleesi?
I would say, and it's heroes and villains, since right now Khaleesi is being a villain because she's in heat, so she's bugging Balian, but I told Kenzie when things get really hairy around here, like they're both being brats, I'm going to be like, Kalani, Khaleesi, whatever one of you, the one that can speak English and not bark, not dog language.
We want the models to be new for this painting contest, so please nothing that you've shown online before, and to that end, we do ask for a unpainted or a before version of your model that's time-stamped so we know it's new for this one. And we ask that you don't share it anywhere else until after the galleries have been posted. And so, yeah, you can put all those into a single email. We don't want 2 separate emails. We want one single email. And you can send those to tom@mayacast.com.
And kip@mayacast.com.
And then at the end of the quarter, which is what, like the beginning of October?
I think so.
Yeah. End of September,
so.
beginning of October.
Goodness.
Right after Arizona Armageddon, we will, or maybe right before, we will put up a gallery of all the entries and on our Facebook page for everybody to enjoy. And then on the following show, we'll announce all the winners. And the overall winner, based on merit, technical ability, creativity, execution, all that good stuff, whoever painted it the goodest, that will win the coveted, personalized, engraved MayaCast MasterGlass. And then, depending on the number of entries, that determines the number of extra goodies we'll give out in the form of boxes and blister packs and whatnot. So, that's going on. And then we have 2 events to announce. Kip, what do you got?
I have something called Thinking and Stuff Tournament. This comes from Justin Reagan.
Sounds way too hard.
I know, right? We all know Justin because he can leg press most vehicles. And he says, "Hello, Tom and Professor Willett. First, I would like to take a moment of silence for Kip. Apparently the dogs were not part of that moment of silence." So he said thanks, Justin, by the way. The Thinking and Stuff tournament will be held at GMI Games in Riverside, California. This is going to be September 16th with a start time of 12 noon. That's like saying ATM machine. Please arrive at 11 a.m. to help speed up the process. This is a 300-point tournament. The missions are Comm Center, Rescue, and Highly Classified. Host and TO will be none other than Justin Reagan himself. He will provide lunch for you all, fine fellows and ladies that join in, and it's a $10 entry fee. And there is a Treason tournament pack up for grabs. And that is the one with the limited edition Oyorai. Hush, hush, Ioi. Pretty cool. It's actually one of my favorite things that they're doing now, those little different ones. So this tournament will be using the advanced rules for terrain types. So brush up on that because it's a thing that a lot of times isn't used in the rulebook. Each table will have at least one type of special terrain on it. This might be your jungle. It might be aquatic. 0G, which would be awesome. Sea expanse, desert or mountain terrain. There will also be different types of visibility zones on each table. So again, brush up on that section of the rulebook. He says, thanks, and P.S., yes, I know the code for treason is set missions, but I think we're a little burned out on them, so I got a new code for this treason pack.
Okay.
Sounds fun, though. I like that.
And there'll be a link to that in the show notes. Andrew writes in and says, hey guys, first congratulations to Kip for his recent fatherhood.
Whee!
May your diaper changes be limited in their smearing, and the baby vomit cause no stains.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, right. Professor Willett actually had told me to have dad shirts, so I do have a whole drawer of these shirts that I only wear to like do the yard in, and that's usually what I wear when I'm feeding her because I get thrown up and peed on a lot these days.
I'm a bit behind on providing you the details for this one because stupid life things, but here is the most recent tournament arranged by Captain Spud. Format is a mid-tier direct action tournament. Location is Black Knight Games in Hamilton, Ontario. The date is Saturday, August 18th. Time, registration starts at 10:30. Games start at 11 a.m. Entry fee is $20, which includes a pizza lunch. Prizes, store credit, also special prizes for melee kills, see below. The missions will be Biotech Decapitation, and Unmasking. Extras, Soldiers of Fortune are allowed. See details on page 10 of the Season 9 ITS document. Spec Ops are not allowed. Prizes, store credit based on the number of participants. And then the Stabbingsmanship Award.
Nice.
As a bonus, players will be given a score sheet at the start of the day where they can record any melee kills they scored during the 3 games. This is strictly optional, and you can ignore the melee kill tracker and play normally if you prefer. 2 prizes will be awarded at the end of the day, one to the player with the most models killed in melee, and the other to the player with the most points killed in melee. Each winner will be awarded a mercenary model of their choice out of a pool of melee-oriented models. Currently, Musashi and Massacre, but I'll likely add a few other choices.
Nice.
All players are responsible for bringing their own models, dice tokens, measuring devices, classified decks, and painted army list. And there will be a link to that event up on the show notes as well, where you can check out all the rest of the events we have previously announced. And if you would like your event announced on the show, please send us an email like the ones you just heard to tom@MayaCast.com.
And Kip at MayaCast.com.
Still not a thing.
I know, right?
And we'll get it read on the show, added to the show notes, and then people can find you. And it's been about, 2 months now where I've, instead of just putting a link to the event name in the show notes, I put the link with the event name and then in parentheses put the location. So if you look at the show notes,
nice.
You can see like, Atlanta, Georgia. I live near Atlanta, Georgia. Let's see what's going on there. Click.
It's a funny thing that you said Atlanta, Georgia. And that's foreshadowing for me when we get into the meat and potatoes of the show.
Okie dokie then. So before we do get into the meat and potatoes, which will be a review of the July releases, and like we've been doing over the last several months of releases, we will talk about the models and do our Schreiber scale ratings, of course. But we will also talk about the profiles, and this month we have a new profile to go with a new model, so that's exciting stuff. Before we get into all that, we're going to do a show in a couple of weeks, and we want your input. And so we had a discussion on last week's show about a model that has no wound incapacitation and shock immunity, and then models with 2 wounds, and the only difference is one goes unconscious, the other one goes straight to dead. Mm-hmm. And yes, it's a difference. There's a difference on the tabletop, but is it enough difference to have all these different rules? Mm-hmm. And so what we're going to talk about in a few weeks is I wrote down rules bloat, but that's not really...
That's a working title.
Yeah, not really what we're talking about. But like, what rules, what things, what complexities, like. And I think what a lot of us like about Infinity is the depth of the rules and the large amount of selections and interactions. However, that's very daunting to a new player, and so we want to have the discussion about how how would you streamline some of the rules without dumbing down the infinity rules, right? We don't want to make it simple, but I think it could definitely stand to become easier and lower the bar of entry, right? So if there are rules that you look at and you're like, I can never keep these two things straight, they're so similar, the only difference is blah, and why don't they just have one thing that means both? Or why do these two guns exist? They could just have one gun, right? And that's way less for people to, right? Because there's a million weapons, there's a million skills, there's a million pieces of equipment, and that level of detail is what we like about the game. But are there areas where it could be streamlined and made more elegant? Let us know your thoughts. And yep, you're going to hear it for a third time. And you can send those suggestions to Tom at MayaCast.com.
And Kip at MayaCast.com.
And we will, that's something we're going to talk about in like 2-3 weeks. So yeah, if you've thought about this before, or maybe this is a new thought exercise for you, what are some of the things that you think they could trim down or condense that would make the barrier to entry and the staying power of it more long-lasting without necessarily dumbing down? We don't want to dumb down the game, right? But yeah, so that's the gist of it. We'd like your help with that, so please write in and give us your thoughts and suggestions. You can also like Facebook message us, but that will probably get lost real quick, the way Facebook does things.
Yeah, that like little secret message bar that you're
there's that too.
You're like, oh, this person requested to have.
I have 63 messages I didn't even know I had.
Yeah,
awesome.
All the way back to like 2014
from people that I, like, wow, yeah. So there's that. Then there's also like it goes on your regular messages, but then as all of your friends keep messaging you, it gets pushed down farther and farther and farther.
Yeah, I had that happen today. I was like, wait, I meant to message this person back, and it is like way down, like where it's bad.
So that's we'd like to hear your thoughts on that, and then we're going to talk about that. So now let's get into the July releases and the new models and the new profile and all that exciting stuff.
It was not an accident. It's a human imposter in the... No, say again. Say again. Is bossy incursion imminent? Please confirm.
Incoming data from Bostria.
Infinity Intel. You may call it Raicho, you may call it Raicho, you may call it Raiko, you may call it Reiko, but for the purposes of the show title, for the episode title, we're calling it Raicho.
Yeah, because of Raicho. Ross and Raicho.
Ross and Raicho. And so, what would you like to talk about first? Skip the profile or the model itself? It's up to you. Letting you call the audible here.
Okay, let's just go to the model and then dive into the actual profile itself. Because it's easier to just get the oh man, model's cool out of the way. Because the more in-depth conversation is going to come for the profile. So,
okay,
how it looks. So, I love it. I like it way more better than the old one, with the head sticking out of the armor. So it's like, oh, just hit him in the head and then he's dead. It's a big scary tag with no head protection is what I saw when I used to see the old one. Love that the beast. I can't remember. I went to try to find what this was called and totally spaced it. The little beast that they have to go out and hunt to earn their Raicho armor is sticking on the shoulder pad as like a predator trophy. Like I got just the skull and a little bit of the skin that's been tanned. I absolutely love it. And I saw a GIF of some sort of sci-fi / anime CGI like Gundam thing that people were like, oh, it looks like this. And I couldn't find where that was on the internet since I had never seen that before. And it does look similar to that, but I'm glad that they chose that for inspiration. because I do like the kind of more updated, sleek. I don't want to say Gundam because it doesn't look like a Gundam, but just like that mecha-esque. I
think Armored Core was
that could be it, and I couldn't think of that name.
Armored Core, I think, were the comparisons that were being made.
Because I never saw anything from Armored Core. But I remember it. I remember the name. So I like it. I like it a lot. Totally give it a 5 for me, personally. Because I would have never played a Raicho. Raicho in the past. Never really had a desire to. Now I was thinking after this, is that Armored Core?
No, it's the Friends theme.
Oh, okay. Now I get it. Yeah, totally heard it now. So yeah, like now I'm like looking for an excuse to run a Rasen Raicho, and when the little bot jumps out of the arm, that's Emma. Because that was her daughter, Raicho's daughter on Friends.
So, okay.
So I give it a 5 for the model itself.
So, if I'm looking at this model, just on its own merits as a model, and disregarding any fluff or background that I know, right? I'm like, what's the weird skull and pelt thing? I don't like it. Get it off there, and then it's a really cool sort of like almost medieval style armored knight mecha thing, right? It's got a shield, it's got the War Machine Warjack head, or mounted knight helmet thing, right? And then I think it's a pretty cool robot. I think it's a pretty cool sci-fi robot. But because I know it's Morat, I look at it and I'm like, oh, the pelt and skull, well, that's cool because they have to go and kill that beast on their native planet of Ugarat. But I don't know the beast's name either. To earn the right to pilot Raicho. And so that's cool. But then I look at the rest of the model, I'm like, there is nothing about this model that looks Morat to me. One possible exception, giant honking ammo backpack, which just screams aggression for the Morat aggression force. And of course the logo embossed on the shield is looks very Morat, sure. But I mean, he's, like I said, he's got a War Machine head. He's got the prow of a cigarette boat for a chest piece. He has those backward piston legs like that new Aristea character that jumps over the blocked spaces. But it doesn't look Morat to me at all. I think the old version looked 1,000 times more Morat-y. It had that typical Morat texture that you see on their like thigh armor and stuff. That is only mimicked one place on this model, and now I can't even find it. It's so tiny. But like that sort of three-prong, I don't know how to describe it, where it goes up in the middle. It's sort of like a trapezoid that sticks up in the middle. Oh, it's on the codpiece. Well, forgive me for not focusing on that. The overlapping armor plates on the copies, that's very Morat. It's on the Warsenal Taugak trench terrain, right, in the headquarters building, which is the easiest objective building you will ever assemble. It's so quick and so cheap. Inexpensive, not cheap. And so it doesn't have any Morat characteristics, except if you know the lore, then you know that pelt is a thing, and that's really cool. And so I have a hard time reconciling the model with Morat on its own merit. I think it's a really cool space robot that I would give a 4 or a 5 to as a Morat tag. And you know what? Enough with the orange and black. Like, it looks like, I mean, it could be it's like a Nomad Gladiator tag, right? so much orange and black. And like, look at the Vanguard infantry. Where's the red on them? Like, that's
very slight.
Where's the if you look at the Rodox, where are, these are two common core choices. Where's the red on the Rodox? Well, you look at Yaogats. Where's all their red? Right?
Very accent.
It's their flesh, and it's not this color red at all. Their skin is the only color red. This was made, like, this is that new, like, Onyx, like the Avatar is black and red, and the new Carontid's black and red, and the Onyx stuff is black and red, and now this guy's black and red and has nothing to do with Morats. And so I am conflicted because I like my Monkey Man. And this guy doesn't look Morat at all to me. So 3.
3, wow. That's insane. But for very good reasons though. See, I'm not a big
Why not just make it gray and black like you did the Vanguards and the Rodox and all the other Morats?
I mean, I would agree they need more.
Why not just match?
The red should be like an accent, but I really like this assessment though.
Yeah, Morat's got like the triangle panel on its shoulder pad, like a Vanguard, right? That makes it that's red.
Yeah, that's it.
But it's like
a little pop out.
It's almost like a purpley red, right? This is like high gloss sports car red, or like I said, cigarette boat. Go fast boats.
Vroom vroom vroom.
It doesn't match. It doesn't follow any of the same aesthetics. I don't know what they were thinking.
Well, here, I would say you actually did a very good assessment from this. You love your Monkey Man. You've played Morats, and you're like, I play Combined Army. I don't even think I've built any Morats because I like all of the, like, alien, backwards. This looks very Combined Army to me. Not very Morat. So there's 2 ways you can take it. Is this tag a technology that was brought about by the EI, and for them to earn it, they go and hunt this, so it looks more Combined Army, alien, future robot-y, which I like, because it isn't so much like, oh, I'm just a monkey version of a tag, or is it? Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of is why they did this. It's like to make it look more like the Combined Army. Like this is something that came around after the Combined Army came around, with the tag technology and all that. So I do like your assessment because you're like, no, I like my Monkey Man, and maybe this is the addition to the Monkey Men that came about after the EI had taken them over.
Here, have a big suit.
Yeah,
but before you can use it, here's a ritual from your home planet. So I don't know if I'm buying that, but, yeah, on its own merits, looks really, really cool, but then get rid of this weird pelt that has no stupid dragon skull. What is that? But then looking at it, and I gave it a 5 if it didn't have the pelt. And then knowing it's Morats, I'm like, well, yeah, the pelt makes total sense.
Yeah.
But then I give it a 3 because nothing else looks Morat-y. But anyway, so that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah, total 5 on my part. But in part, it is the new profile that kind of sways me to that.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Because, yeah, I was like, the mind dispenser. That is what jumped out at me right away, because when we first saw this, it was something kind of new. We've learned the rules since then.
If you have not noticed, the Raicho, as when the new model came out, got a profile update in Army. That's what we're talking about. It gained... Kib wants to jump ahead to the Mind Dispenser. It's a new piece of equipment. It's a new weapon that it has. But compared to the old Raicho profile, it's not drastically different.
No, not too much.
But it gained 1 point of willpower. And so there are 2 loadouts. The heavy machine gun and heavy flamethrower loadout went down by 2 points, and it gained the +1 whip,
which is nice.
The other profile was multi-HMG with AP heavy pistol. That profile is gone. Okay?
You're like, oh, wait, what?
Instead, it is replaced with multi-HMG plus heavy shotgun.
Yeah, way better.
And this Mind Dispenser that we'll talk about, and that is 2 SWC 94 points. So your base model with heavy flamethrower went down 2 points, The AP heavy pistol's gone, but it gets a heavy shotgun. Now, the interesting thing about that is that neither profile now has any close combat weapon, which is fine because barehanded, you're at physique -2, and so the Raicho is at damage 15, and a heavy pistol is damage 15.
14.
Oh, 14?
Yeah.
So it's better not having
better,
it.
yeah.
It's just not AP or anything.
Like, I'm pretty sure. Off the top of my head.
Whichever.
But
yeah, so damage 15 because of physique -2, and the Raicho starts at physique 17.
Right.
And, which the old one looked like.
Yes. It is 14.
So, so there's no close combat weapons anymore, but you actually go up in damage. That one. All right, Kip. So Mind Dispenser, go ahead.
Yeah, it's super, super cool, and it was fun, like, to watch the...
Tell us what it is, though.
Oh, well, so a Mind Dispenser is a weapon that allows you to shoot mines and speculative fire mines, much like we saw in, like, the Drop Bears. But the Drop Bears were throwable weapons, so they had a max range of, like, 16 inches, I believe.
I'm glad that the physique 17 thing cannot throw anything.
So it's not hitting within 8 inches on a 20. Ridiculous. But yeah, this Mind Dispenser, I remember seeing somebody make a comment.
You're not going to get... Okay. Before you tell us how fun it is, let's tell them what they is so they have a frame of reference for how fun you think it is.
Yeah,
Mind Dispenser is...
Do you see my shirt? ADHD. You bought this for me.
Zero range is 0 to 8 inches. Mm-hmm. It is +3 from 8 to 16. From 16 to 24, it's -3. It can go all the way out to 48, but 24 to 48, it's at -6. It is a burst 1 weapon that is capable of speculative fire. It is targetless, and it is disposable too. And somewhere I read, I couldn't find it though just before the show, but somewhere it was clarified that they are deployed as mines, like Drop Bears, not as camo markers, even though they're mines, which are deployed. So you don't deploy camo markers, you deploy mines.
Yeah, that was
couldn't find where I read that.
That was what I was kind of getting at, but like always, Tom has better direction.
So that's what it is. Now tell us what was so fun that you were watching.
No, like people were saying, like, why is that better than Drop Bears? It's basically the same thing, but like Tom said, with the range bands, you're not limited to a throwable weapon of 16. You are now able to deploy these things up to 48 inches on the table, which in most of the time it's pretty much everywhere, unless you're one corner to the other corner, and you can speculative fire. So even if you want to shoot this all the way across the table, you can hit on a 1 or a 2. Yeah, it's kind of like a Hail Mary, but if that's all you can do with an order, it's pretty awesome. The disposable aspect of it, a lot of times in Combined Army, I am taking at least one Icadron because they are very good value for their points at 9, giving you a flash pulse, giving you a fast bot that can have 2 heavy flamethrowers, but it's also baggage, which can reload those things.
And don't forget it has a pistol.
And it has a pistol. So the disposable, not too much. Can cost you 1 extra order, but would be worth it. But you don't have to just speculative fire these things.
And sometimes maybe that Icadron is in a second combat group that doesn't have a lot of important things in it anyway, that you're going to move over to the main group as you take casualties, or that it's there in that group supporting the, whatever, like giving orders to your Q drone or whatever. So it maybe is not even taking away orders from your main pool to go up and reload, and it can keep pace with it because they both have a 6 for their first move value. Yeah,
exactly. So it's like, even if you move them up there and reload, and you can still get to where you need to go with the Raicho. So it's pretty nice, and I've actually faced it. Sterling, our good friend Sterling, that just moved down, brought it against me in one of our Paradiso missions, and holy goodness, in that good range, where he just moved where nobody could see me, but he could shoot the mine where it would affect like 4 of my models, like, playing your angles, like pool, hitting in the +3 range. even in the -3 range, like your ballistic skill 14, man, he popped that thing because it's targetless. So he shot it where it could see a model that was revealed and my TO camo model, which there's only one in Drew's, Saito, and then came around the corner and was like, hey, I moved here. What's your sniper and your camo token gonna do? Because he was within 8 inches now because he played his angle. So he's like, I love this heavy shotgun because now I'm going to either basically force me to dodge so that he could blow that mine up and shoot me with this heavy shotgun. And Saito didn't live. So it's really cool. Like it's a really interesting addition, taking off those heavy pistols, giving you a disgusting close range weapon, and being able to play certain angles to now press your opponent to have to make a decision on, do I want to shoot back? Oh, wait, I haven't caused a wound, so even if I take my 1 ARO, I'm going to eat this mine that's shock. So it's like preserving your value, because a lot of times they're not going to shoot back because, well, he still has structure 3. I'm barely going to do anything to it, but I could die. So you're forcing them to dodge so you can shoot them and most likely kill them, but not take damage back. So being able to shoot these out in prime locations is just helping you not take damage when you come around and make your assault, which is what he did to me, and it was pretty awesome. Only way around it was hacking.
You can also, with the 16-inch good range, you can also, or, even 16 to 24, you're hitting on 11s, which is disposable too. Yeah. But using it so that he used it to support his own self, right? He used it to support his own Raicho attack.
Like, I'm going to make an attack.
But to use it to support other models that are already upfield, like a Zerat, right? That where who may have minds of their own, but he can like launch one up there, and just to support other models without, because if he wants to stay back in heavy machine gun range, but he can throw that mine up there to help out things that are going towards the midfield that are going to get objectives or whatnot, and then they come around the corner and they force that decision as well. So he can also synergize.
I was just gonna say synergy
with other units,
and I love how you use the they may have minds of their own, because play on words.
Didn't try to do that. But
I know you didn't, but it was pretty awesome.
I'm glad I could amuse you. What am I, a clown? Right. I need to amuse you. Not gonna go down that road. I'll start cussing. So yeah, not a crazy. Nothing crazy, but a nice little tweak to the Raicho. Now, of course, it's a tag. It's still vulnerable to all the things that tags are vulnerable to.
Yeah.
Like hacking but now, hey, if you're in your little defensive bunker where you want a heavy machine gun out of, and then get out of line of fire in the reactive turn or whatever, well, now you can plunk that mine down if that hacker wants to get within 8 inches, or its repeater wants to get within 8 inches, that mine's going to go off, right? And either take out the repeater or take out the hacker. Then you're down to pitchers.
Totally. No, and that was the other good thing about it is if you do have that really good offensive position, being able to shoot these out in where am I going to get flanked? Or where I'm playing vanilla Ariadne, where is Duroc and Van Zant going to come in to try to take me out from behind? Those types of things is pretty neat. And not have to worry about like mine layer. Like you can shoot
your layer?
Mine. Enemy mine layer. But yeah, you can shoot that wherever you want. It's pretty nice.
Okay, so new profile, new model, and profile is exciting. Yeah, the heavy shotgun. Okay, so I faced the old Raicho, right? And they would play it Morat like and come barreling it up with it to use the heavy flamethrower. Right? Like, you are way out of HMG position now.
Yeah.
And cool, so I dodge or whatever, right? And then they just get beat up in close combat or whatever, right? They go down hard. With the heavy shotgun now, it's much, much scarier. Yes, you don't have a direct template weapon. You can no longer intuitive attack, right? And it takes away some of your options. But at the same time, you're, a +6 to a ballistic skill 14 thing with 3 wounds and armor 8.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 8?
Yeah, armor 8.
Okay.
And you don't want to try to dodge against that. That's not something like, oh, he's a flamethrower. I got a physique 13. I'll just run up and dodge. Oh, wait, you roll a dice and possibly hit me on a 19? And I can't dodge
20.
that. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, 20 to the crit, but, you don't want to dodge against that.
And that's why Saito was in between a rock and a hard place. So,
yeah.
so he comes around that corner. He's close to Saito, but there's a sniper far away. If the sniper shoots and Saito does nothing, okay, so the mine doesn't go off against Saito, right? And you can spray your HMG at the sniper. And now that the sniper's gone, now you idle again, and if Saito does nothing, he gave up his opportunity to arrow, you discover.
Sterling was good to where he shot that to where if my sniper or Saito, it would hit either of them. So
hit both of them?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. With you being able to shoot this thing, it's even scarier because it was up. He was back, so you can really put somebody in a rock and a hard place at that point.
Disposable 2 is it's definitely going to prevent me from trying to make the roll on a 2 at 48 inches.
No. This was after a move, and I'll take the 11. 11 is not bad at bad range. You know what I mean? I've already moved up. I've started at 12. I've moved up 10 inches. I can shoot this and hit on 11. That's worth the risk.
Still want to hit on 17s, though.
Oh, yeah.
Still want to shoot.
Yeah, that's ideal.
With disposable 2, I definitely want to shoot at 17s within 16 inches with line of fire. That'd be great. That'd be great. Please and thank you. So, yay. New Raicho.
So, didn't the pilot get an upgrade, though?
I thought the pilot got the upgrade back when they upgraded the pilots.
Possibly, but
because they made them all specialists.
I hope so. Because, like I said, I never played the profile. But the double heavy pistols, there she is. That is Kalani.
2 heavy pistols and D-charges.
And D-charges. The D-charges is kind of huge when you're going to be running this tag up the field. Because what else do you have? A Kurgat or a Dr. Worm. Although...
Or a Zerat Hacker has D-charges.
Zerats. It's a good option, though. It's better than not having them.
No, it's real good. Yep. You can get out using the tag as cover.
Razyats are usually your best bet than the Morats, so that's what I was thinking.
Use the tag as cover, pop out the back, go plant your D-charges, get back in the tag, or get out and press the button, get back in the tag. Yep. Okay, so they repacked the Tank Hunters. We talked about the new Tank Hunter APHMG model when it came out. Year ago, whatever. The autocannon is still the autocannon model, so you've got a really old sculpt packaged with a really new sculpt. One less SKU for distributors and retailers to have to deal with. And Tank Hunters are good. They're medium infantry, so not hackable. They're also Ariadne, but hey.
Yeah, no, right?
Armor 3 with only 1 wound. They are camouflaged.
Kind of helps on the first shot. On your turn, by the way.
Courage, they're ballistic skill 12, because we're looking at long-range weapons here, right? Autocannon's fun to surprise a tag, an ARO or something, right? Or even surprise shot on your active turn against heavily armored things. It's only burst 2.
Yeah, it's only thing that's one.
You have camo. You're probably in cover. You're probably in good range, right? You're surprise shooting, so that one, that surprise shot can be very devastating. Autocannon's ugly, but it's burst 2. But the APHMG gets the benefit of burst 4, and then the same SWC at 1.5.
Yeah,
HMG's 35. Autocannon's 34. They both have D-charges, but you don't want them going to where you need to use the D-charges.
No, not really.
Super corner case where you're going to use it to, close combat attack that's in your backfield where your fire support is. I don't know. But that APHMG surprise shot, now you have burst 4. Now we're talking. Now that's probably going to work. And if you can re-camo, you can keep repeating that over and over again.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, the surprise shot -3 is huge. It's more devastating than, like, people think.
Well, you're giving them a 369 off the bat. Camo, surprise, and cover. And then range bands, you have an HMG, they might have a combi rifle. That might be a -12 on them. They might not be able to hit you.
Or it's strictly like, I'm just going to put your target number down 3, and then your opponent rolls his 2 dice because they're in a fire team, and normally they need 12s, and they roll 2 12s, and you're like, oh, surprise shot. So that takes those 2 crits down to 2 misses because they needed 9s, which has happened on multiple occasions. So it's just like little subtle things is why they're really awesome.
I think the best tank hunter, though, is, for certain missions anyway, is the lieutenant option with AP rifle, adhesive launcher, and D-charges. It's an SWC.
That's only downfall.
It's only 25 points, but if you're playing hunting party, you get the extra ADHL, so now you have 2.
Right?
And there's a non-lieutenant profile option for that as well. If you're playing, it's got to be discovered before it can be hunted down as well. It's a camo marker. And if it's an infiltrating specialist with an ADHL that's doing the hunting, right? Well, now you've just glued a specialist with your 2 ADHLs.
Right.
So in firefight, it's a hidden lieutenant, and you're in a marker state, and so they have to guess which one it is, and then they have to discover it. So good for stuff like that. Even in decapitation, where they know who your lieutenant is, it's that extra protection of having to be discovered first, or censored first, or whatever.
It's not always fun to have to go hunt down a freaking camo marker
in a deployment zone up on a building, prone behind cover.
And that helps with all those, like, so Starco, all these NA2, Starco, Drews. Oh, those EM grenade launchers are so scary. Well, as long as you don't have a model that can be targeted, they can't speculative fire onto a camo marker.
Right, so
that's nice.
Don't make me you make the mistake of, I'm going to put, it's Ariadne, so you don't have helper bots. But for every other faction,
right?
I'm going to put my Nazmat or my Ud bot up on the roof with it in case it does die. Then I can go heal it. Well, now you've just given it a speculative fire target,
right?
So yeah, keep things away from the camo. Don't get it accidentally speculated.
I know. I'm gonna have to go give her to her mom here right
now. She's fine. No, nobody minds.
Do you want to talk?
She can probably read events better than you.
Do you believe that?
All right. So
there she goes.
The heckler is going to be pretty easy because we just talked about the hecklers 3 episodes ago on 188 about the profiles and
Tunguska.
stuff. So we just have to talk about the models. We just have to talk about the model. My first note is that is an Emarat, not a jammer. No matter what they try and tell you. Look on page 56 of Human Sphere. It's an Emarat.
Right?
Just, for your edification. That is not the jammer. That is the Emarat.
I think everybody thinks that because when they see the dreaded Mudawiya and they always see that satellite dish, they're like, that's a jammer. Because how many times have you get Emerated?
Emarat. That is the EM chain rifle right there.
Yeah.
And, I think the model's pretty cool. Now, if you don't know about Emerats and stuff, you may look at this guy and be like, what is he doing? Is he trying to get good signal? What? Is he trying to get the game at the tailgate to come in, right?
No, he's about to destroy your game is what it is.
But I reckon it's pretty cool. I give this a solid 4, man.
I also did a solid 4. It's funny on the Tank Hunters 3s because they're repack. I thought that was a standard because I don't think I had said 3 on my side, but I did solid 4.
No, I didn't rate them because we already rated the Tank Hunter and the other one's old.
Yep. 4 for me all the way. Didn't disappoint. Love the new Tunguska stuff. So, those Emerats are the ones that are the large template EM2 or EM. Dang it, I didn't pull the weapon profile up, but they are EM either way. So as that thing opens up, it's not like we were saying, are you getting sick over the game? No, it's shooting a massive, basically mini solar flare straight at you. It's going to disrupt everything in its way with EM damage. But I like them. Long trench coats. Love the trench coats. Very sinister.
It is a very, very cool, looking model style dossier, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna radar dish the heck out of you. Mm-hmm. So Emirats are EM damage.
Just regular EM. That's what.
Just regular EM. Emitters, the little burst one combi or burst one rifle style.
Yeah.
EM. That's EM2.
That's EM2 and Blitzens as well. So I thought they were the same. A lot of changes from old style.
It's been 4 years though.
Yeah. No,
we're almost ready for a new edition.
I know, but I still remember stuff from NA2 with the EM.
And there's so much.
So different.
Bring us up to the CSU, Corporate Security Unit. And so the only way previously to get a CSU was to have the old Ice Storm that came with the limited model. Now, if you
make briefcase,
the machine gun briefcase from Ghost in the Shell. If you're out there thinking, and that's why I haven't, I'm so mad because I haven't been able to have a CSU because I haven't made one, and they're like $75 online if you try to eBay it or whatever. So, that was a model in Ice Storm that came with the pre-orders. So if you're mad about not having that, there's a pre-order right now for Operation Cold Front.
There you go.
And it comes with an extra model that you can only get in the Cold Front box, and that is the War Driver Hacker. And so if you want that War Driver Hacker model, don't miss out and get Cold Front later when it doesn't have the model. It's the same price. It's a free model. Why not just get it now? And why not get 3 packs of Cold Front, build one, and then you save those other 2 War Driver Hackers for a couple of years, and they'll pay for your other 2 boxes of Cold Front.
There you go. That's true.
So now we get our first Corporate Security Unit. I think this model is going to be gangbusters for sci-fi role players. Whether it's Infinity the Game role playing by Modifius, or whether it's Cyberpunk or whatever.
Oh yeah.
What a cool stonking RPG style character. That machine pistol. Mm-hmm. So cool. And then a boarding shotgun slung over the back. So by definition, on our rubric, and this is where, rubrics can break down. It would be a 5 because even if you don't play Infinity, you're like, I have to have that model because it'd be a cool role-playing character. But it's not a big wow-a-majig 5, right? I think it's a solid 3 or 4. But if you're going strictly off the rubric, by saying that role-playing gamers would get it even if they don't play Infinity, I made it a 5 by rubric definition. But no, I think it's a solid. I think it's a solid 3.
I'm a solid 5 on both.
Huh?
Because as you know, I'm a just complete stickler for these models that can be your HVTs or.
It's wearing wingtips.
I know, I love it. And I was going to say, anybody that's mad that they couldn't get the Angry Briefcase CSU, this one was worth the wait. Super cool. I think, so somebody said that she's inspired by a show that I had not seen, so I can't make that reference, but apparently there's some inspiration there.
You don't remember the show, do you?
I can't.
That's why you're not saying it. Okay.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. I can't. It was in, passing on comments. But I personally, I want it. I want it for my collection because I love these one-off, unique, really awesome characters that you're not really going to see on the game table so much, whether it's going to be a HVT or if you're playing Neoterra or ISS, because they can take CSUs.
And Starco.
And Starco, thank you. I knew I was missing one. I kept looking all morning.
I think it's just Neoterra, Imperial Service, and Starco, or if you use the Soldiers of Fortune
there you go.
Extra, because CSUs are mercs.
But yeah, I love the model. It's Super 5. I want it really bad.
And, a fine HVT as well, if you're not using it for one of those 3 sectorial factions, right?
Or for me, that's a cool war driver hacker.
Let's talk about
got a boarding shotgun.
For
certain factions.
Talk about the profile. Ranges between 11 and 15 points, so it's cheap.
Super cheap.
And this particular model, the boarding shotgun, is the cheapest at 11. They have 6 Sense level 1. They have Fire Team Duo. They're always in a sectorial, so you don't even need to bring the Evo. They are regular, right? So it's not one of those irregular cheap troops, right? This is a cheap, regular order. And a fairly standard profile, like, ballistic skill 12, whip 12, no armor but BTS 3. It's only a single wound, but they're super cheap regular orders. And then it has metachemistry level 1.
I would say that's when it could be...
Depending on what you roll on the chart,
yeah,
could be really cool. Maybe not as cool as Booty.
Right.
And, my 11-point model now is an HMG, right? But... And we bid adieu to Kalani.
She's killing. Let's try to do that quietly.
Depending on what you roll, you could get +1 armor, so you'd have armor 1. It's fine. You could get Dogged.
That's fun.
Cool. Now I'm going to, I got all the way up there with my boarding shotgun finally. Now I'm just going to keep blasting people until I get killed again or at the end of my turn. You get bioimmunity. You can get 8-4 move.
That's super huge if you take the Spec Ops version, the Specialist Operative.
You get +6 BTS, which would make you a 9, which is called Immunity Nanopulsar.
Exactly right.
+3 Physique. So instead of your 10, you can actually dodge like a
normal person.
Yeah, dodge on a 13.
Not like an infant.
You get no wound in cap. So
that's not bad.
Like Dogged, but better. 6 Sense level 2. You already have level 1.
Level 2 is nice because now it works on the whole board.
Right, and you get shot through smoke. You can shoot back without the -6 penalty. You can get regeneration. Although we know how precious orders are. You're going to spend an order to regenerate an 11-point model. I don't know.
That's Physique 10.
You get super jump or climbing plus.
Those are nice.
Or you get total immunity. NWI or 8-4 move are probably the ones I want the most out of the list, right?
I would agree. 100%.
But yeah, so this model in particular has a boarding shotgun and a nanopulsar, right? But starts in your deployment zone, has to get all the way across the board, do anything. Other options, there's a combi rifle and nanopulsar for 1 point more. Or breaker rifle, not breaker combi, breaker rifle, also 12 points. Okay, no nanopulsar on that one.
Yeah.
Then there's 2 specialist options. One is 12 points, comes with a rifle and light shotgun, nanopulsar. And then the other one has a breaker combi this time.
That's nice.
With the nanopulsar for 15 points. My favorite out of all 5 profiles is that 12-point specialist option with rifle and light shotgun and nanopulsar. You cover all your range bands to 16. Yep. And you have a template option, if that's a better option. It lets you intuitive attack. It lets you, employ it, like, depending on their ARO, lets you employ a template where appropriate. Because, it is 12 points. And so, heck, if that's an ODD model that decided to shoot you, lay that fire template down, you hit and burn off that ODD, right, for the rest of your people to come shoot, and then, you're going to eat that shot, but it was 12 points, and now that model doesn't have ODD, and it's much easier to deal with. So, right? So you've got that template option. Oh, it's not flamethrower.
No, I was
it's
just going to say
nanopulsar. I'm dumb.
No, I am an idiot, Tom. I was going to just say that. I was like,
dumb. It's a nanopulsar. I'm just picturing the small template and thinking flamethrower. Never mind.
Totally going to jump in on that.
It's a specialist option. It's cheap. So that's my favorite.
It's my absolute favorite as well. For everything you just said, like you cover 0 to 8. You cover
those are your
8 to
volunteers
16.
linked with Wallace. I just hit them all with a nanopulsar. What's your BTS? Okay, enjoy that.
The one thing that I can add to that, because like it's perfect. That's exactly why it's my favorite. Is if you have 15 points, and
Should
you're
probably
like,
be more points if that was a flamethrower instead of a nanopulsar.
I know, right?
Damn it.
If you had 15 points and you were trying to fill it, I would much rather take the 12-point CSU specialist and a war core, because now you have a flash pulse running around, which can be completely. I flash pulse more people nowadays because playing against Lewis.
Who's got a flash pulse?
The war core. If for 15 points, I would rather take the specialist operative 12-point with the rifle light shotgun
and a war
core
instead
specialist, yes,
right?
Because there's in a jam that turning that irregular to a regular.
Unless you're at 9 models.
Well, there you go.
You don't want to go to 11.
There you go. That's the corner case right
have a
there.
combat group of 1, then you end up going first, and they're like, "I'm going to take 2 orders." And you're
right?
Like, oh, everything's terrible.
That's the one corner case. But yeah, if you're in multiple combat groups, or you're at 8 models and you have 15 points left over, I'd much rather take the. I like the rifle light shotgun nanopulsar. It's way more utility. And people are like, well, I like the combis because they're +3 at 0 to 8. I'd rather take a shotgun at +6. Just make sure there's no friendly models or HVTs, because you can't choose to not shoot a template with a light shotgun. That is where their downfall is.
Well, speaking of flamethrowers, my next entry, maybe this is why I had flamethrower on the brain,
Probably.
is the Chasseur.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about these dudes before. So,
yeah, but this guy's good.
it's a really cool model.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not a epically heroic model, right? But it's just really, really cool. That gun he's got tucked away with the underslung flamethrower on it. Not nanopulsar this time. Actual flamethrower. Super. The ball cap and the goggles or sunglasses, I guess, is better. And the headset. Everything about this guy. Another miniature for role-playing fodder, right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
He's 4 for me.
Really?
Yeah.
So I went 5.
Well, you give everything a 5.
No, but there's a reason why.
I'm saving my 5 for avatars and things like that.
No, and I'm going to give you a reason why this one is a 5. It's a 5 for me because as soon as it came out, I wanted to buy it because it can double with different paint jobs for a lot of different things. It could be a new Foxtrot Ranger. It can be a new role-playing character. And then I hear people in our game night going, oh man, did you see that new Chasseur? I want to buy it so I can use it as something else. I want to use it as my male Hunzakut. So I'm like, man, this is a 5 because people are going to buy this so they can paint it matching their army, even if it's a male Hunzakut. And I was like, oh, I have 2 Hunzakuts in my Druze. I kind of want to buy one of these so that I have 2 different Hunzakuts now. So by rubric, it's got to be a 5 because I'm buying it anyway to use outside of my faction, not just to collect it. But I'm buying it because it's such a cool model that I want to buy it and paint it to use in different ways. So I have to give it a 5 because it's popular opinion of the 3 people I've talked to about, about the Chasseur.
No, I mean that's fine. But yeah, it's a 4 for me. It's an excellent model.
Super, super cool.
It's not a blow your socks off, oh my god, what is this game? I'm totally going to get into it kind of model for me.
Did we ever do like history for Chasseurs? I know we said like the name means hunter.
I like
Professor Willett style.
I don't know. Why? What do you got?
No, I have a brief thing.
Tell me about your briefs.
So when I was in my boxer briefs reading about Chasseurs,
mushroom sauce.
Right? I was looking at their logo and I was like, is that a French horn with a sword? Because it doesn't have like all the inners of a French horn.
Right, it doesn't have the valves and all the accompanying, right? It's more of a hunter's horn.
There you go. So I was kind of thinking that because it was a hunter. So then I was like, well, what's it look like? So I went and kind of looked at some stuff and and they also have that toujours prêt. I don't know. I don't speak Latin, so
Perfect.
there you
Latin?
go.
Isn't it French?
Oh, it could be French too, but it's always ready. Well, there's an American unit that has the same thing, and I was like, I thought, whatever.
Toujours prêt for him des chasseurs.
So yeah, it means always ready. Super cool on that. So I wanted to look into it a little bit, and it looks like that the chasseurs were actually formed in 1743 during the War of the Austrian Succession. And they started out as 600 soldiers, and they were mixed between light infantry and cavalry. And they were supposed to be trained to be elite. Originally, there was kind of 3 different chasseurs per se, and there was the chasseurs à paillettes, which is what the original one. Yeah, right. They were basically, hey, we're gonna take our regular standard infantry, but we're gonna make them better.
Now, per se is Latin.
No, yeah, paillette. Paillette.
No, you said per se. That's Latin.
Oh, my bad. So bad. So anyways, they made them elite, so they were supposed to be better marksmen. And I was like, wait, ballistic skill 11? How are they supposed to be marksmen? Oh, wait, metros are 10. Okay, so they are better marksmen.
Well,
and they were so they are better than normal infantry. Specialized.
What is marksman? I mean, really.
Well, if you want to go from the Mel Gibson's Patriot, I want accuracy and precision from the French officer that taught them. But yeah, they were specialized skirmishers. They aided as advanced guard and scouts, so hence why they chose them. I thought it was cool that there was a unit that was the chasseurs à cheval, like chivalry. Those were the cavalry section. And they were cavalry until 1940. What was that?
Toujours.
Okay. They were cavalry up until 1940, and that was when they were actually motorized.
Prêt. Toujours. Prêt.
Oh, that's how you say it.
Toujours.
Prêt. Toujours. Prêt. Okay, yeah, I suck.
That's how the computer voice says it.
Okay. But yeah, the infantry was
totally being kip.
Oh, you're totally kipping it. Look, what shirt am I wearing today?
Your ADHD ACDC shirt.
Yes, exactly. And that's
Highway to Squirrel.
Yeah, Highway to Tom bought this for me. By the way,
I did indeed. But I'm totally kipping up your Willet moment.
No, you're cool.
Fantastic.
I totally stole the moment by being like, "Hey, I found these fun little facts to Professor Willet this up today." But yeah, they were motorized in 1940, and what I found interesting was originally these cheval chasseurs were supposed to be the mounted equivalent of zouaves. So they were the faster, better version of zouaves. But I don't think that maybe because they have camouflage and infiltration, not just mechanized deployment, that they're faster and better. But I don't think that the profile is better armor-wise, the ballistic skill-wise. So that kind of made some sense, which was really cool. And then I had the funny one. So this was the funny one. You had the chasseurs forestier. I don't know how to say it. It's Zouave. So Zouave. Again, they were saying they're elite light infantry, but basically the forest hunters, that's what it comes out to, were only active from 1875 to 1924. And again, they were advanced guard. They were scouts. They were out in the middle of the field. They were really good at doing that because they had excellent knowledge of maps and could actually write maps. So they would go out and scout and do all this cartography, and then they provided wood for the rest of the army. No joke. The forest chasseurs. It's like a fantasy thing.
We were out making our maps, cartographizing, and We brought you wood for the fire.
And we brought you wood for the entire army. They would bring back wood. Right? So super cool little facts I found when I totally was wearing my ADHD it looks like AC/DC logo, but it says ADHD, Highway to Squirrel. But I saw their logo and I was like, what is that? Where did they get that from? And those are little Wikipedia tidbits that I found that I wanted to share with you guys.
Jouave.
So these are camel infiltrators with Sixth Sense level 1. Multi-terrain, they are regular troops. They are inexpensive. Ballistic skill 11.
That's what I'm saying.
Whip 13.
Marksman.
Physique 13.
That's good. That's very good, actually.
Armor and BTS 0-1 wound. Right, but they're camo markers. In the middle of the field.
Light infantry.
This model has a rifle and light flamethrower, which is the thing slung under his purse there. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, European shoulder bag.
It's a satchel.
And 3 out of the 5 profiles for chasseurs have rifle light flamethrowers. So this model is useful.
Right.
For 19 points and no SWC, you get rifle light flamethrower and anti-personnel mines. Woo. And when people like talk online, they use abbreviations, right? When you see somebody write AP mines, do you get freaked out a minute?
No.
Like, whoa, is that a new piece of equipment? Mines that are AP? But they're anti-personnel mines, not armor piercing. Yeah.
Oh, I never even thought about that.
AP is the common abbreviation in Infinity for armor piercing. But yeah, AP mines, anti-personnel mines. Anyway, you can add mine layer to that. So you can start with 2 camo tokens out there. One's the chasseur, one's a mine. Who knows who is what? Is got to discover, sensor, do stuff. That's going to cost you half an SWC and 1 extra point. They're 0.5 and 20. Or you can get probably the most useful option for ITS missions where there are button pushings. The Forward Observer version is 20 points. So it's only 1 point more. Those are the 3 rifle light flamethrower options. So I think that one's best because he's a midfield specialist.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
But Ariadna also has a host of midfield camo infiltrating specialists that they can employ. So if you've got the SWC to spare and all those other midfield camo infiltrators, why not take the mine layer so you can add even more camo markers because that's sick. So the best thing about them is they're Sixth Sense level 1.
Yeah,
because they're camo markers. Even way betterer than on the CSU, right? Who's not a camo marker and who's not in the center of the table. You get to delay your ARO against models within 8 inches. If you hear a soundtrack, it's just the baby's mobile. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's not an ice cream man.
Within 8 inches, you get to delay your ARO until they declare their second short skill. Now, of course, that makes it obvious your camo marker is a chasseur. Because you have to say, like, I will use Sixth Sense to delay my ARO with that camo marker. Then they know it's not a mine, and they know it's a chasseur, and bad things are about to happen. Because that allows you to always make the best choice. And now think about it. You're in the middle of the field where the objectives are and cover. You can tuck those things into places where they've got to come around to get within the 8 inches, so you can make use of your Sixth Sense level 1. So they're like, okay, they're delaying. I'm just going to move again. Sweet. I am going to template you with my flamethrower.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to shoot you with my rifle. Or I'm going to lay a mine for later. Because you're not shooting me, so I'm going to take this opportunity to remain safe and put a mine out without dying. Oh, you're going to discover me. Cool. Your discover succeeds because here comes flamethrower.
Exactly.
Or I'm going to shoot you. Or I'm going to lay a mine. And now next time you do something, I will shoot or template as appropriate. Oh, crap. Well, with my second part, I'm just going to idle. Cool, I'm going to flamethrower you.
Exactly.
Or I'm going to dodge. Right? Ooh, you're going to dodge? I'll just idle and remain a camo marker.
Perfect.
If you need that there. Or your physique's terrible, I'm going to flamethrower you. Or I'll make it a face-to-face and shoot you with my combi. Or I'm going to lay a mine because you're not going to kill me.
Say, or you're dodging, I'm going to lay a mine. Oh, man. Yeah, that's insane. They're so frustrating because of that. You basically are forced getting shot if you get within 8 inches of them. It's not fun.
No, because you can't choose shoot.
No.
And you can't choose delay, because that's an ARO thing, right? Where they're in their active turn and you wait till their second. No, this is your second, and you have to declare it before they've done anything. And at that point, you cannot declare shoot because they are not revealed. Exactly. And if they declare flamethrower you after you've declared your second, you can't go back and switch it.
Nope.
And they weren't revealed before. Like,
oh, wait.
You are just screwed. And so, yes, they are armor 0, and yes, they are 1 wound, but they are nasty little buggers.
Especially, I mean, first game round, if you're going second, money. But even if you're going first, money if people are coming around the corner to try to get you off objectives or try to get rid of you or get rid of orders. Like, they're disgustingly amazing. And the model's awesome, too.
Yeah, I mean, yes, the forward observer can go push buttons. You can go and do things with them. But when people talk about ARO pieces, I want an ARO, but only if you're within 8 inches.
Right?
And then I'm going to delay it until you tell me what you're doing next. And it just puts you in an oily situation. Like, oh, I don't want to say what I'm doing next because then you're going to hurt me. Everything I choose is wrong.
In those old missions where we had the objective rooms and you played against, like, they're AVA2 in vanilla, but when people played French and they'd get 4 of these camo markers in that room where you had to, like, get in there
availability
to do anything.
4 in Merovingia, availability 2 in vanilla.
Yeah, so you would get them in there either getting first turn or lucky on the second part of the first game round. Then you have to get in there and get rid of them. Because you have to, like, go in and you're like, so I'm moving and then I'm going to, now there's 4 camo tokens that can hold till the second part of my action. So I'm going to dodge and hopefully survive what is going to happen next. Like, they were disgusting in the old 8-inch by 8-inch rooms, objective rooms that haven't been this season.
All right, well, these 2 will flamethrower you, and these 2 will shoot you.
Yeah, so bad, because they all hold. So disgusting. They were a biatch to deal with.
Yeah, especially if they get in there and then re-camo, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, you move in camo, because, yeah.
Well, somebody's got to open the door.
Frenchies can still be good. I know that they're not releasing models other than this one, but they can still be good.
Right, and who knows, there may be more models, because they're still all available in Vanilla Ariadne, right? There may be more models, they're just not going to produce the current range except for this new Chasseur.
Yeah,
that's the only thing. That still remains an army. Hack Support Pack. We get a new Ghulam Doctor and a new Najaroon Engineer who's like checking out his Palm Pilot.
I know, right?
I was going to say iPad, but then I realized it's Hakislam, and they always they get rifles, not combi rifles.
There you go.
So, and they get the new Nazmats that we first saw with the Hakims.
So good. They are so fun.
And your gut reaction may be like, well, why do I need 2 more Nazmats if I'm already getting Nazmats with the Hakims and they're only availability 2? Why do I need all these Nazmats? Well, the Hakims have Nazmat A2.
Yeah.
Which is a different Nazmat, and they come with it themselves, and it's their own availability. And so you can get your Hakim with his Nazmat and then still take 2 more with your Engineer and or Doctor Plus, which is so
it's disgusting.
Dumb.
I like her big-ass glasses.
Oh, right. We're going to talk about the models.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about the models first.
Sorry, I thought we were rating the models.
Yeah, no, you're right. Follow the same. You know what the problem is? The problem is I am out of liquid refreshment, so I have lost my way. Okay. Refilled. So, models. Yeah, she's got... Those are some glasses, man.
Oh, yeah. She's been studying.
That is... that's how she can doctor on a 17. Yeah, I mean, I like him. The dude's kind of dorky with the helmet.
Yeah, but the old one was the same. But it had, like, that weird old hawk, like, rah!
Yeah.
Rah, rah, rah pose, you know what I mean? Much improvement.
Definitely much improved over the old ones. Solid 3 from me.
I'm gonna say 3, but I still love the new Nazmats on a 4.
Yeah, they're really cool.
I really like them. I do like these guys though, and he's literally like, yo, did you see his last video? I just posted. That's what he's staring at. He is not doing work at all.
Gulam Dr. Plus. Gulams are total availability. They're whip 14. Dr. Plus makes them heal on 17s. It's only 16 points to easily bring back orders you've lost in a faction that already does order spam really well. Because their low point stuff is still really good at doing things.
Disgusting.
Yeah, and then cool late game specialists, right? Mm-hmm. Spent the game healing up dudes in the backfield, and now final turn, they're still specialists. Run up and grab some close objectives. Najaroon's only availability 1. He's 1 point more at 17. He doesn't get the +3. I mean, he's basically a Gulam with courage.
Yeah.
But he can get you those engineered classifieds. He can get you the decharge classified, except he has to get there all the way across the table. I mean, he can keep your Shihab alive with a Nazmat, your total reaction remote. But Gulam Doctors are real good.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Just get a 3-pack of those.
I know, right? I was like, pretty much the only time you see the engineer is, I don't even see specialists that often. It's, hey, this bot's over here by my remotes that I want to stay alive.
Yep.
And then they're hiding in the background. But yeah, the Gulam Doctors are disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Speaking of resculpts, we got new Magister Knights. And so we talk about the models first. I learned this a minute ago. So I've got to say, they are technically superior to the previous models as far as the quality of sculpting itself, the details. However, I much preferred the dynamic poses of the previous Magister Knights. Running around with their... And oh my gosh, that girl's sword is so bent.
Yeah, in that one picture, it is very bent. Pull that thing backward.
Fix that. But yeah, I much preferred the old poses. I kind of wish these new sculpts were in the same sort of dynamic poses. They got some weird lap bibs going on. It's not like a full tabard, but it's this split lap bib. Helmet's really cool. I like it. It's almost like the mark. Oh, I'm gonna get that wrong because it's been way too long since I did 40k lore. But the errant armor, where the collar piece comes up over half the mouth. Mm-hmm. It's got that cool effect on the male order sergeants.
Artificer armor. Boom.
Yeah. So I kind of like that look. The pose for extremely impetuous models, they do not appear to be very impetuous.
No, I would agree with you. I like the old dynamic poses a little bit better. And when it comes to the lap bibs, I think that it was just poor choice in changing the color at that. Like, imagine it all the same color, or if they did the, which I'll get. Well, so I was watching Kingdom of Heaven last night while I was painting, and I was like, "Oh man,
again!"
Well, when I paint, I watch movies that I can just see just by hearing because I've watched them a million times, and I was like, "Oh, you know what? I used to want to do this whole big project where I did my Bretonians in Kingdom of Heaven, where these guys get this color, these guys are Sepulchre Knights, these guys are Templar Knights." But I was like, "Oh, I really liked the like cross-hatched, like, well, this is cream, this is maroon, and it's that old school kind of like square." And I was like, "Oh, Magister Knights, you could do that where you could split it up." But on this, it's like, if you make them white and then the rest of it red, they just look really weird. So it's like, either make them all the same color of tabard, or do something really cool to where it's like, well, this half is a whole color and the bottom half checkered. There you go.
Except giant
like the night
4
checkers.
panel.
Yeah, 4 panel. That's a 4 panels, what I was looking for. That would look way cooler on these, right? And then they would look knightly, not like, well, I have these white garbs, and then I have these red garbs, and they don't mean jack
I have
shiza.
a white bib and a red skirt.
Yeah. I like my girls with a white bib and a red skirt. Doom, diddle-oom.
I'm a fan of hashtag nerd rage over the Panzerfaust, though.
Really?
Well, because everybody always assumed that the shoulder-mounted thing on old Pano models, the shoulder-mounted thing with the dots in it,
Oh, okay.
everybody always assumed that was the Panzerfaust.
Like the Predator Panzerfaust?
But then we got the new Aquilagard, which had one, but he had no Panzerfaust. So like, okay, clearly that was not the Panzerfaust. And then this guy's got like the long tube disposable rocket launcher thing going on.
Oh, yeah.
And
I got 2 shots. One for each of you.
so like, what? That's not a Pano Panzerfaust. That's like a Hakkaslan Panzerfaust. What is going on?
I was trying to be quiet with that.
We can totally hear that you're opening a beverage. Probably a Coke Zero since you're a new dad. Oh my God, it is a Coke Zero. Wow. Painterly note, I do enjoy on the shoulder pads, and I have not seen the models in person yet, but so I don't know how much of that is sculpted in and how much of that is just painted, but I do like the use of dark gray as black, so that you can then make black on black and make it stand out on the shoulder pads with the hospital cross that looks like it might be embossed on the circular section of the shoulder pad, where it's like a black cross on a black field, but you can tell, like, really like that. There is absolutely no chance I'm going to try and put the little white cross inside the black cross inside the black shoulder pad. That's just way too many crosses. But yeah, they are not as dynamic as the old ones. That's for sure. In fact, they're not even as dynamic as the new Order Sergeants.
They're chilling.
They are a 3 for me.
3 for me as well. I like that they're updated with the whoa, goodness, the beefiness. And my daughter has got my hiccups really bad too. So, totally like that they beefed them up like all the other ones, but not really what you'd expect for impetuous models that want to get in and kill things, right?
No. They do have that they have the hospital order pattern going on because Magister Knights are found in all the knightly orders. Mm-hmm. And Balian is tap dancing.
Yeah, he is.
But
speaking of Kingdom of Heaven.
Yeah. So they
So here's one thing, though. Here's a quick critique that just popped in my head right now.
Okay.
Squirrel. A lot of people have the old ones, right? But they were all kind of just like swords, combi rifles, whatever.
Running for shoulder-mounted Panzerfausts that apparently weren't Panzerfausts.
So maybe it's like, these are running around. There's people that like them. So let's do the support box with all the other options. Like you have the Panzerfaust. You have is that a missile launcher or rocket launcher?
It is a missile launcher.
Missile launcher. So these are supplemental because
you
the
have rubber
older
swords and rubber scabbards. You have the Pan-O light shotgun. I'm not sure if we've seen it before.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe it was like, hey, we have all these dynamic ones running around
with
in the
swords,
old models,
and they are availability 6.
Yeah. So.
And that's availability 6 in military orders. Availability 1 in vanilla.
Oh yeah, but you really are only taking these. In
honestly, never took one in vanilla Pano. But what I was about to say is with the hospital pattern, right? Mm-hmm. The new Order Sergeants were hospital pattern, and you've got a new. Right, you've got a new Joan of Arc, and you've got a new DeFerson, and you've got these guys, and you've got the new Hospital Knights box, and I wonder if we might see a 300-point military orders Order the Hospital box set come out like we saw for Corregidor and for Toha and for Steel Phalanx.
That would be amazing.
So,
it would be amazing.
Because now they all have the same livery. And yeah. So the standard loadout is light shotgun and Panzerfaust. And so we've got a girl with just a sword, and we've got a guy with a Panzerfaust, and we've got a guy with a light shotgun. So 3 of them are your standard loadout Magister Knights, which is good for later when we talk about fire teams. They are close combat 22 with martial arts level 2.
Okay, nice.
So they are good fighters for the points. Ballistic skill 12, which is like Pano 10. But right, physique 14. So when they do hit, they hit hard, especially when you add the martial arts level 2 on top of that. Whip 12 because Pano armor and BTS is 3. They are 2 wound models.
Yay!
Like I said, 1 in vanilla. Don't see much place for them in vanilla, but availability 6 in military orders, and they are not expensive. They're like 23 points.
Yeah, like 22 for the one that you only take if you only have 22 points.
Yeah. Well, it's an AP close combat weapon.
Yeah, but I'd rather take double action.
Or you can get double action for 1 point
23
more. So let's talk about that Panzerfaust. It's light shotguns, so they're good up close. But they've got to get all the way across the table. They're extremely impetuous. Helps with that. But Panzerfaust has a +3 bonus from 16 to 32 inches.
Yeah,
much
so
like
good.
a heavy rocket launcher.
Yeah, so good. 2 shots, but...
Disposable 2, not 2 shots. It's burst 1.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Burst 1, disposable 2. They only get 2 shots with them, but it gets them where they need to get.
Damage 14, armor piercing, and explosive. So it's like a tiny missile launcher.
But they're extremely impetuous, so they're running. Like, they haul, but free orders, you want them up close. That's why I don't really... Like, the missile launcher... Like you said, getting into fire teams is the only reason to even look at that. But, I mean, on the base profile, it's 23 points. I like the double action better, but it's like you get 2 shots with your Panzerfaust, and then you're getting close anyway.
The problem with an impetuous missile launcher is when you're stacking modifiers, you're never going to get that -3 for cover, and you're burst 1, and they're very likely to beat you. You have no mimetism or anything. They are regular troops. They are extremely impetuous, as we've mentioned. They're religious, of course, because military orders, but they are hyperdynamics level 1, and remember I said they're physique 14, which means even though they have light shotguns and are good at close up and not so much far away, they can dodge on 17s, which is really good. That's a really good number to shoot for in a face-to-face when you're trying to dodge in a faction with no smoke.
Especially if you're like, well, I can shoot my 1 burst Panzerfaust, +3, you're in cover, so I need a 12 because I'm +3, -3.
Or I can dodge on a 17.
Or I can dodge on a 17. Super good.
Well, they can form, in military orders, they can form a core fire team with 1 hospital knight and up to 4 magisters, or 2 hospital knights with up to 3 magisters. They can do the same thing with Santiago knights. So your main difference, like the hospital knights, they can bring doctors, and they can bring an HMG. Mm-hmm. A ballistic skill 17 HMG in a fire team of 5, right? Mm-hmm. And then the Magister Knights at 22 points really bring the points cost of that core fire team way down. Whereas Santiago's, yes, there's a paramedic, but their main advantage is a 360 visor in case you're not good with positioning and fields of fire and forget. I mean, I do that all the time.
I do.
And they have Spitfire options instead of the HMG. So if you want to get up and close and personal, Santiago. If you do want to take that missile launcher guy, because that can be fun, ballistic skill 15, burst 2 when you're in that 5-man link. Hospital Knights, because now you have the option of HMG for the active turn on the Hospital Knight, and then for ARO, you leave that missile launcher. Missile launcher is 2 SWC, though, on a ballistic skill 12 guy at burst 1. It's a trap. Unless
much.
I mean, if you're playing, you're playing tag missions or whatever, maybe you want to take it for funsies, but much prefer the 22 point or 23 point cheapo guys, because the missile launcher is 32, so you're saving 10 points. and attach 3 of those in a link with 2 hospital knights, an HMG, and a doctor, and have that like mini Death Star go around and do your work. The doctor's pushing buttons, he's reviving his core teammates, and the HMG's laying waste to everything at burst 5, ballistic skill 17. And that's a ton. That's 10 wounds. Because even though they're cheap at 22 points, you get 2 wounds.
Right?
They're good.
It's disgusting. And you're pairing him with almost the equivalent that are the cheapest at like 37.
When they're linked, they're not impetuous, so you are getting cover with them. Mm-hmm. Again, if you really feel like you must take that missile launcher. They are great fun to link with the Hospital Knights turn 1, right? And you move up the board, and you get to your objectives, and you lay down Withering Fire with the HMG. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of your turn, you use a command token, switch the fire team over to your Order Sergeant, where you have 5 of them, and you've got like 2 sniper rifles and a heavy rocket launcher, or 2 heavy rocket launchers and a sniper rifle. And you've got that core team watching the whole field, and they're taking all the AROs. And you may use a command, and who knows if this language will get cleaned up at some point, but at any time to form a new fire team, right?
Yeah, you can disband and form at any time. So like you said, you can spend all of your orders on these guys.
And it says anytime in the, anytime it's your active turn, it's anytime in the impetuous or orders phase of the turn. Mm-hmm. So at the very beginning of the impetuous phase, if you like, you may cancel the Order Sergeant link team, form the link team with your Magister Knights and Hospital Knights, and you've done that before you've spent any of those impetuous orders that you've generated. So now they don't have to go run, and you don't have to waste orders because it's any time in the impetuous or orders phase. Mm-hmm. So you've done it before they've had to spend those orders, and now you've got that core team again on the active turn to go wreak havoc in the middle of the field and push buttons with your doctor. And then at the end of your turn, you switch it back to that core team of Order Sergeants, and now you're pretty much out of command tokens, but
you've done a lot of work.
And at that point, now it comes to turn 3. Yeah, let your remaining Magister Knights be impetuous and run up and chop things to bits or light shotgun things or whatever they're going to do, because they've already done their job at that point. It works a treat.
And then if things don't go your way, turn 1, in turn 2, you can do the same thing. You're like, I'm just going to let those guys go extremely impetuous. You've actually done that, though, right? You tested that theory.
Yeah.
The other
I think it was at a tournament.
Yeah, one of our last tournaments. And I didn't get to play because it was during the baby time, but I stopped in when I had like a quick hour break and was talking to you, and you were telling me how freaking awesome it was to be able to switch back and forth. They're like, it actually works. Like, we've talked about it many times, but it's amazing.
And you're always worried about, like, well, if I don't refront them, then they all go running away. But then now you just do it before they run away.
Yeah.
And that Order Sergeant link is scary.
Oh, yeah.
Super scary. They adding that heavy rocket launcher. Whoa, man.
It was already bad enough when it was like the double missile launcher. I mean,
their sniper rifle.
Remember, it was like always, that double sniper rifle. Military orders. And it was funny. Earlier, I said NA2 because that's the thing, but I meant N2, not N3.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
But now that's kind of like the thing. And adding in this new, like the rocket launcher, is just disgusting.
I'm a little sad that that they only get a 3 from me. I loved the old Magister Knights, and then with the new sculpts of the Father Knights and the Hospital Knights and everything, I thought, and the new Order Sergeant box, I thought, wow, these guys are going to be super cool, and they're just kind of standing around, not very impetuous-like, and so
they're still cool. I just think that
they're cool.
I think this is the one time where the paint job ruins the model. Because it's like you said, it's like, well, they're standing around and there's like, you have these tabards.
I'm telling Angel on you.
You can, because it's kind of like, man, the tabards are trying too hard. Like, give them a purpose. Like, they're just white and red.
All red, all white.
Yeah.
Quarter panels.
I like the quarter panel.
or all red with a white cross, all
There
white
you
with a
go.
red cross.
There you go. Way better. Would
Any
have
of
more
these
of an
options,
impact.
but the white bib with the
the
red
red bib?
dress
Bad.
is yeah, you're right. It may be breaking the models up. So I can't wait to see them in person to
With alternate paint schemes.
to see what they look like as just bare metal. Maybe we can maybe we can find online just the renders. I mean, we've seen them before in like terrible pictures, but like like actual maybe the sculptor put them up on his Facebook page or something. And seriously, unbend all the bendy bits before you take the pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's July releases, I think.
That is.
This conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye.
So that is going to do it for the Ross and Raicho episode of MayaCast, episode 191. Next week, there will not be an episode.
Oh, why is that?
Because I'm going to be at Gen Con already.
Right.
So unless you can grab the infant and make it to Indianapolis,
No.
there is not going to be an episode released next Friday because, this is coming out Friday. Mm-hmm. And then there's Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday, and then I fly on Tuesday, and I don't get back until the following Monday, and so there is no possible time to record.
One of the few times that we are not going to be on air on Fridays.
So we're good for at least 50 episodes a year, which I think is pretty good.
Not too shabby.
How many weeks in a year? Yeah, we're doing all right. Mm-hmm. What if it's a leap year? Is there an extra week?
I think we still, then we're 51.
All the days have 31. So, no episode next week. I'll be at Gen Con. If you're going to be at Gen Con, make sure you swing by the Corvus Belli booth, which I'm going to say is 241. I think it might be 241. It's around there. It's way on the left side of the hall this year instead of way on the right, which is cool because we'll actually have light and we'll be near the doors. And it's better in every possible way. Mm-hmm. So we will see you at Gen Con. Bostria will be there. The Lord Commander Fernando will be there. And the marketing director Belen will be there. And I'll be there. Jay from Warson will be there. His girlfriend Sarah will be there working the booth. All of our luscious booth babes. We got Moxel and Joxel working the booth. We've got Shane and Joel and Michael from California are coming in to work the booth.
I know Michael's going to be there.
And there's another one. There's definitely another one. And they're going to kill me for forgetting who they are. Will!
I was going to say, Will's going to be there. Is
Will
he working
Thompson.
the burst?
Yeah, Will Thompson.
Yeah,
That's the sixth one.
We were chatting today. I was like, is he working the booth?
So, yes, he is.
Okay.
So come by the booth and say hi to all those booth volunteers. Get out to the gaming area and say hi to the likes of James Chavot and Tim Tulin and Dave Seeley and all the guys running the events out in the gaming hall as well. And, it's going to be a good time. Lots of Infinity happening. The Cold Front release with all the, exclusive stuff and all that. And
shivering with excitement.
Saturday at, I think, 1 p.m., 11 a.m. I don't know. Saturday at some point in the early afternoon, late morning, will be the Bostria seminar at Gen Con, where they will show off a whole bunch of new and wacky craziness and all the new information. And they're going to be streaming it, I believe. Probably the Beasts of War American crew is going to be streaming it.
Hopefully.
As well as a double handful of people with cell phones trying to stream it. And then I believe they are also recording a video in studio that they will release as soon as the seminar is over on, like, I guess, Infinity's Facebook or their website or whatever, where they will cover all of the things that were in the seminar as well.
Nice.
So if you piece together the live seminar with the pre-recorded seminar, they'll probably be exactly the same thing, but they might, he might say one thing in the live seminar that he doesn't say in the recorded one, or he might say something in the recorded one that he forgets to say in the live one, or whatever. So I'd say watch them both. Give them the clicks. Give them all the clicks.
Right.
But yeah,
That's
Gen Con is here. It is time. We will be there. And I hope to see you there. I'll be register monkey for most of the weekend, I am sure, ringing up your cold front purchases. And so if you're first in line, you know that means it takes us twice as long as if you're the 30th person in line and we've got the hang of it by then. So, yeah, good luck. Get right to the Corvus booth. I imagine we're going to sell out again, so get there early. And if you're ninja shopping, get there as soon as you can to make sure you get enough copies for all the people back home that have already paid you. But again, Dart is really the only thing that you can only get at Gen Con. Everything else you can order through your local game store. So they are able to order the cold front box with the extra miniature in it, the War Driver. Mm. They are able to order the... Now, you may get it a couple weeks later, right? Because cold front won't ship until, I think, the end of August. But you can support your local game store and keep them open so you have a place to play. So if you have the opportunity to support your local game store, do that instead of getting a Ninja Shopper. You may have to wait an extra 3-4 weeks, but that's better than not having a place to play. So support your local game store by doing that. The Advance Pack, only available at Gen Con or through the Corvus Belly online store during Gen Con, but those are two different releases that will come out later in the year. So you can get the Straylock with her K9 later, and you can get the Asurus Hacker later through your local game store as well. And so you can get it early at Gen Con. You can support your local game store by waiting. But yeah, it's going to be a good time. It's going to be fun. Going to be exhausted.
I miss that, though. Last 2 years, Gen Con for me.
Well, it's better not going than going the way you used to have to go.
Very, very true.
And yeah, slavery.
Yeah,
I think slavery.
I think that I've only gone once with it being fun.
Right, just for vacation.
Yeah.
Playing tournaments and stuff.
Which was worth it. Next year. I'll be there next year. We're not planning on having a baby next year.
Or if it's not Gen Con, you can go to one of the bigger tournaments. Because there's tournaments at Gen Con, but Gen Con is a multifaceted gaming event where there's lots of other things to do.
I like hanging out at Gen Con more than tournaments.
I think if you're going for the Infinity experience, Rumble on Route 66, that would be a number one, right? Mm-hmm. Or try out some of these other, Dire States type events like the Gateway Gauntlet in St. Louis, mm-hmm. or like the Utah, what's the Utah one? Salt Lake Showdown.
Salt Lake Showdown, definitely a destination now,
right? Or Arizona Armageddon. Oh, I suppose we should mention that Arizona Armageddon.
Oh, yeah. It was sold out already.
Yeah, registration went live yesterday and was sold out in 3 hours.
Yeah.
So clearly, I'm sorry if you didn't get the opportunity to join us. Get your name on the waiting list. There are currently 16 people on the waiting list. Mm-hmm. And clearly that means we just need a bigger venue than
we do.
Than Games U.
You do.
And so we're looking into possibilities. And a larger venue probably means a larger price because then we have to cover the cost of an actual venue and not just like the gaming store.
Right.
So money will have to go to that instead of prizes and food and T-shirts and stuff. But I'm so excited to see the 64 people that did, that were the first 64 to register. I'm very excited that there was so much positive response that we had 80 registrants, within the first half a day, mm-hmm. even though we can only accept the first 64. But the waiting list is all time-stamped if you fill out the registration. And as people drop out, we will accept you in order, and it's going to be a really good time once again. And we thank Games U and Jeff Caples for their hospitality and hosting us. And yeah, that went really fast.
Super fast.
Went really fast.
I can't even go now.
Well, stupid Mexico.
I know.
And
I'm really bummed out about that. I'm trying to laugh it off to not be angry, but I'm pretty bummed.
That's the. I think that's the official code name of the Wall project.
I know, right? Freaking
Operation Stupid Mexico.
I'll be there next year. That's like every other year.
Well,
Next
maybe.
year I'll have my crap together.
I don't
when
know.
it comes to scheduling.
I don't know.
We've been trying to do it for 4 years.
You're gonna have a 1-year-old.
Yeah, it's easier. It's right.
You're still gonna have the same family that goes to Mexico every time.
No, but
So I don't know about making promises you can't keep.
Man.
The one promise I hope you do keep, though, is that you paint Magister Knights in a quartered color scheme so that I can see how cool that is.
I really want to do that.
Yeah, so thanks for listening, and we will not be back next week. Episode 192 will happen in 2 weeks, and so I'm sorry for the 1 week off. We apologize. I hope you'll forgive us, but we'll be back in 2 weeks. I'll probably talk about Gen Con, and we'll probably talk about all of the stuff from the seminar and all of the new juicy tidbits that come out and all of the secrets that have been revealed.
Right.
And all that.
Revelations, infinity revelations.
End times. And so we'll talk about all of that stuff and all of what's going on in 2 weeks. And then the week after that, we want to talk about that. Remember I said at the beginning of the show where we want your opinions on ways to trim it down without dumbing it down to keep the complexity that we love, but also making it a little more elegant, a little more streamlined, a little more accessible. That is what we're going to talk about in 3 weeks. So get those emails in. If you've been thinking about it all this time, great. You can email us right away. If not, you've got a couple weeks to think about it and collect your thoughts. Let us know so we can talk about all of those things. Thank you very much for listening. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks. Please come to the booth and say hi to me at Gen Con this weekend. Next weekend when you're listening to you know what I mean. And until next time, which will be in 2 weeks because there's no show next week. Have I made that clear enough?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. Until next time, please get out there and support your local game stores.
To find out how you can support the show, go to patreon.com/MayaCast.
You can find us online at www.mayacast.com.
We are on Facebook at facebook.com/InfinityMayaCast.
Follow at Maya Podcast on Twitter.
Join the MayaCast forum group on Facebook.
And as always, you can email us at tom@mayacast.com.
And Kip at MayaCast.com.